The first time I created a sigil, it worked so well, I low-key became obsessed. I started using it in ways that maybe are a bit much. I'll be too much. I don't care. It works. Hey there, I'm Anna Davila. I'm a purpose mentor, breathwork facilitator, and shadow work specialist. Subscribe for my best tips and practices on developing your intuition, stepping into your power, and walking your soul mission. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what Sigil Magick is, how to create your own, and also how to use it. Before we talk about Sigil Magick, let's get clear on what a sigil is. A sigil is simply a symbol that holds a specific energy, it holds an intention, it holds a specific signature. Sigil Magick is utilizing a sigil for a working, for a creation, a manifestation, for a clearing, for whatever it is that you're utilizing your magic for. One of the reasons why I love Sigil Magick is because not only does it work on an energetic level, but it also works on a more tangible mental level. A sigil will represent something very specific for your subconscious mind. Your mind no longer needs to read a specific statement to conjure up the emotion or conjure up the energy or conjure up the visualization or the state of being of that thing that you're wanting to create. But instead, just looking at the symbol, it automatically already knows. And symbols are really, really powerful for the subconscious mind. I would even argue that the subconscious mind receives that language more powerfully than just you reading a statement. So let's talk about how to create a sigil. There are many ways of creating a sigil. I'm going to show you one way, the one that feels the most intuitive, the one that feels the most aligned for me. But definitely, if you know another way that you absolutely love, you can share it in the comments. This is just the way that has given me the best results, but also my intuition leads me towards it. First thing, before creating a sigil, I recommend clearing the space, clearing yourself, clearing the space. This is just part of my practice. If you want me to make a video on how I love to clear spaces and myself, let me know in the comments. After you clear the space, I think it's really helpful to set an intention. When you clear space, you're leaving the space a little bit empty. There's a void in a sense because you've removed something. And so it's really helpful to fill that space back in, but with something that is intentional, with something that is in alignment or supportive of the working that you're about to do. After I've set an intention, the next step for me is to set energetic boundaries. Some people will call this protection. Some people will call this boundaries. If you want me to talk more about energetic boundaries and why I do it, definitely let me know in the comments and I can absolutely make a video on that. But for me, those are the three main foundational things that I do before any working, any journey that I take, any type of energy work. For the next part, let's actually create the sigil. And for this, logistically, I feel like it's better if you see me do it, but I'm not an expert with like setup and all this. So I'm going to try to film from overhead as I actually create it and talk you through it. I'm not an expert in this, so I'm sorry if it doesn't come out great, but I try. Next, you're going to write out the statement that holds the intention, that holds the energy of the thing that you're wanting to create. Take your time here. You don't want to rush this because you want the statement to be the most aligned with what you want. You want it to hold the energy. You want it to feel good in your body, to feel like yes. So take your time. I'm going to use a personal example. And so I wrote, I live in a home I love, located in a major city, full of diversity, creativity, the ocean, and all the resources I need for my soul path. So I'm in the process of getting clear as to where I want to live. Now, you have the statement. Ideally, you want it to be as concise as possible, but you know, sometimes if it's long, it's long. It's like whatever it is that you're actually needing. Follow your intuition. And for me, this statement feels good. Now, once you have your statement, you wrote it out, you want to remove all the vowels. After you remove all the vowels, you can remove any repeated letters. So I kind of just start bringing these letters down. Now you're left with what you're going to work with for your symbol. And at this point, you're going to start creating a symbol that you feel represents this intention. Sometimes you'll let your intuition kind of just take you there. Sometimes you already have an idea of what shapes and imagery you like. And so just go with it and trust yourself. So, okay, so this is, I live in a home I love, located in a major city, full of diversity, creativity, the ocean, and all the resources I need for my soul path. So you can just start anywhere and just go ahead and pick a letter to start your symbol. So it can be the base of your symbol. Go with the letter that you feel is going to have the shape that is going to hold everything else. But again, just follow your intuition. As you're creating this, just know that there's going to be multiple drafts. So don't worry about making mistakes. You can always start over, grab another piece of paper. You're going to keep creating the sigil until it feels like it's done. And you're going to know when it's done. And you're going to attempt to use all the letters here in creative ways. It doesn't have to be obvious ways. Something else to consider is that notice if this is going to be a sigil that you use once and that's it, then perfect. If it's a sigil that you're going to continuously use, notice how complex you make it, just because you're going to have to redraw it over and over again. So it can sometimes take a little bit of time to memorize it or remember all the aspects of it. So it's something that you may want to consider or maybe not. But as I'm doing this, I'm kind of repeating the statement over and over again and embedding and getting into the state of that feeling that it's already done. Now, this feels like it's almost there, but not quite. So I'm going to kind of redraw it and maybe change aspects of it, maybe make some aspects a little bit bigger, change it up a little bit. But there's something about this that I feel like it's a yes. And then there's some things that are like, not sure about. So this is a process. You just keep going until it feels like it's right. So this sigil feels super aligned. I love everything about it. I added a few dots, which aren't part of the letters, but that's okay. You follow your intuition. If you want to add a little bit of symbolism in other ways or another shape or something, you can absolutely do that. This is your sigil, right? You can do whatever you want. And your intuition is always going to guide you. So don't feel like scared or don't hesitate to make things your own, because that's actually when things are the most powerful. When you make a working your own. So you can follow a recipe for a spell, but if you add something specific to you that really brings up that energy and the mindset and the emotional state, it's going to make that working a lot more powerful. Now that you've created a sigil, there are a few ways to activate it. I would recommend activating it by letting it charge. I personally like to let it be overnight if I can. If not, just at least a few minutes to really let it just charge itself. You can use a crystal, you can use a candle to charge it. You can just let it sit on your altar overnight or for a few minutes. You can grab it and put it between your hands and conjure up the vision, the emotional state. And I like to personally visualize a lot of energy emanating from me and going into the symbol, and then it's charged. But if you're going to use this for like a one-time deal, you can also charge it and finish the working by just burning it. If you're going to utilize this more than once, but your intuition feels like you want to set it on fire so that it activates, then trust that. Just make sure you dry it out in a separate piece of paper. So you're going to have at least two, and one of them you're going to charge it by setting it on fire, and the other one you're going to have as a reference. And for me personally, I am in the process of creating my book of shadows, and so I like to keep my sigils and the statement that was originally for them there so that I don't forget. Now let's talk about the really fun stuff. I think creating a sigil is fun, but using a sigil is even funner. That's not a word. It's even more fun. So many ways. One is you can carve the symbol into a candle. I do this a lot. I have one for my glamour magic. I have one when I work with specific spirits. I have one when I'm creating a specific manifestation. I love candle magic, and I actually created a video on candle magic, so you can check that out. But carving the actual sigil on a candle is so good. You can also write the sigil on a small piece of paper, and you could put it between your phone and your phone case so that you always carry it with you. When I'm creating a sigil about communication, sometimes I do that, or sometimes when I'm creating a sigil around protection. You can also just draw it on the rug beneath where not necessarily everyone's going to see it. I created a really powerful sigil for anything entering my home. It was around protection. So the working was basically anyone entering my home gets cleared of any energy that doesn't belong in here, that I don't want in here. You can also draw a sigil on a mug if you're someone that has tea every day or coffee. So there was a time when I was working with a specific goddess, and I found a plant spirit that was her ally and also my ally. So I started drinking that tea in a way to commune with her every day in the morning, and the sigil itself represented the relationship that I had with this goddess. And so it was really just embedding the energy even more. It turns a mundane, regular, day-to-day thing of like sipping something in the morning that's nice and warm to a magical working. So my life is like a walking, breathing ceremony because I inject magic into all these different aspects. Wallet. You can create a sigil on financial abundance, on protecting your money, on having your money grow, on having your money work for you. You create a sigil just for that and you put it in your wallet. Soap. I told you I got a little obsessed, but these are just ideas. So you don't have to do all of these for sure. You can just do the one that feels aligned and just know that there's so many infinite ways of using sigils. But I'm just giving you a few of the ones that I've done and I continue to do because, again, I love Sigil Magick so much. So you can actually use a soap and create a sigil on clearing energy. And when you create that sigil, every single time you have a new bar of soap that you shower with, you can carve it into the soap, embed the energy, do a little working so that every time you take a shower, you're not only cleaning yourself and clearing yourself physically, but also energetically. And the last example that I want to give you is the makeup. This is another one that I've been working with a lot. So for example, for mascara, I create a sigil and charge it with the energy of I see past the bullshit. Like I see clearly, I see past the illusion, I see the truth. It's been really game changing as to how fast I can see past the BS with people. That's something that you can do when it comes to like lip products. I like to connect the energy with the mundane so that all of me is on board. And so for lipstick or a lip balm, I charge it for me communicating clearly, communicating the truth. The words that come out of my mouth create the reality that I want. This also makes me be very intentional with the words that I use and how I speak to myself or speak to others or speak life into existence. But when I put that lip balm or lipstick or whatever it is, then like my words are powerful. I speak the truth. I allow spirit to speak through me. So yeah, the first time I used Sigil Magick was to help me find an apartment fast that would not only be affordable, but also take 2 doggies that are really big. If you watch some of my videos, you may know that I used to have 2 dogs and they're no longer with me. And it's so like, I miss them so much. It's been, for one of them, it's been a year. And for the second one, it's been a few months. But in the process of moving, I was moving from Albuquerque, New Mexico to California, and I needed to move in less than a month. I needed to find a place to live in less than a month. And my credit wasn't that great. So I created a sigil to move to an apartment that is affordable, that is nice, that is safe, that actually takes my dogs, which by the way, like I mentioned, 2 dogs. And one was 90 pounds and the other was like 86 pounds. So a lot of apartments have weight restrictions, but on top of that, a lot have breed restrictions. And one of my doggies was a pit bull. Both of them were rescues. I got them from ASPCA in New York. Love them so much. I miss them. But it was hard, or in the past, it had been hard. And I found an apartment in like 2 to 3 weeks, 3 weeks tops, that affordable, nice. The apartment complex I live in now, there's a pool, there's a gym, there's like a lounge area that has like a pool thing, which I haven't actually used, but it's nice. It's safe. I feel safe because it's a community. I have parking, and both my doggies were allowed to travel and live here. They accepted us with both doggies. So to me, Sigil Magick works, and I'm so excited for you to try it. If you enjoyed this video or if it was helpful at all, consider liking, subscribing so that you don't miss out on more videos like this. But also by doing that, it really helps me out. It helps the channel out. It helps me grow. This is something that I've been kind of pushing off for a long, long time, starting a YouTube channel. I kind of stumbled upon it before and then stopped. There was a lot of imposter syndrome coming up, but the truth is that this is like my body of work. I love this work and I love sharing it with others. So yeah, like and subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Bye.